Who owns the land in South Africa? A deep dive into the Afrikaner question. To understand South Africa's present land debate, we have to go back, way back. The Afrikaners didn't appear out of nowhere. Their identity, language, and legacy are woven into the complex colonial history of Southern Africa. And their story is one of migration, survival, resistance, dominance, and now, uncertainty. In 1652, the Dutch East India Company, VOC, established a refreshment station at the Cape of Good Hope. The goal was simple: supply fresh food and water to Dutch ships en route to the East Indies. But within a few years, it evolved into something else. Some of the VOC employees, known as free burghers, were granted land to farm. They weren't just Dutch, they were also German and French Huguenot settlers. These Europeans, coming from different walks of life, would eventually merge into a single, distinctive culture. They brought their languages, traditions, and Protestant Christianity with them. Over time, this mix of Dutch, German, and French dialects evolved into a new Creole tongue, Afrikaans, a simplified, localized version of Dutch, enriched with Malay, Khoisan, and Bantu influences. By the 1700s, these settlers were identifying less with Europe and more with Africa. Their worldview was shaped by the vast land, unpredictable climate, conflicts with indigenous groups, and a growing sense that they were no longer Dutch subjects, but a people of the soil, Boers, or farmers. Life on the frontier wasn't easy. As settlers pushed inland for more pasture and water, they encountered Khoisan, Xhosa, and other African communities. Tensions flared over land, cattle, and resources. These skirmishes, sometimes violent, set the tone for the centuries to come. The Boers developed a deeply embedded frontier mindset. They saw themselves as Volk, a chosen people enduring hardship in a harsh land. Survival required self-reliance, toughness, and faith. Religion, particularly Calvinism, played a major role in this identity. Afrikaners believed they were divinely appointed to tame the wilderness and bring order to chaos. This belief, paired with cultural isolation and frequent battles, planted the seeds of exclusivity and ethnic solidarity that would later shape apartheid ideology. In 1806, the British permanently took over the Cape Colony, ending Dutch rule. This marked a major turning point. The Boers didn't take well to British liberal policies, especially when the British abolished slavery in 1834. For many Boers, this wasn't just a policy shift. It was an existential threat to their way of life. What followed was a mass migration known as the Great Trek, 1835 to 1846. Thousands of Afrikaner families packed up ox wagons and moved north and northeast, beyond British control. They formed independent republics, the Transvaal and the Orange Free State, where they could maintain their language, religion, and social order. To the Afrikaners, this was liberation. But to the African communities whose lands were encroached upon, it was invasion. The seeds of future conflict were sown here. Throughout the 19th century, the Boer republics maintained a rural, deeply conservative society. Their economies were agrarian. Their political systems were racially exclusive. Their communities were small and tight-knit, defined by distrust of outsiders, especially the British. Then came the discovery of diamonds in 1867 and gold in 1886 in the Boer territories. Suddenly, the world's eyes turned to the land the Boers controlled. The British, seeing economic opportunity, wanted in. This led to the Anglo-Boer Wars. First Anglo-Boer War, 1880 to 1881, a Boer victory. They retained independence. Second Anglo-Boer War, 1899 to 1902, a British victory. It was brutal, marked by scorched earth policies and concentration camps. Over 26,000 Boer women and children died in British camps. The war left deep scars. It devastated Boer farms, shattered their economy, and left an enduring sense of betrayal. After the war, many Afrikaners were destitute, but they didn't disappear. Instead, they adapted. They formed cultural organizations like the Broederbond, promoted Afrikaans in schools, and built new institutions to protect and promote their identity. By 1948, they were no longer just survivors. They were political victors. The National Party, largely Afrikaner-led, won the elections and instituted apartheid. Apartheid wasn't just segregation. It was a system designed to maintain white Afrikaner dominance politically, economically, and socially. Black South Africans were stripped of rights, forcibly relocated, and denied basic freedoms. Afrikaners justified apartheid through a mix of religion, nationalism, and fear. Fear of losing the land and status they had fought so long to secure. It's important to remember, Afrikaners weren't a monolith. There were wealthy landowners and struggling farmers, urban professionals and rural conservatives. Even among Afrikaners, there were debates over the morality and sustainability of apartheid. By the 1980s, international pressure, internal resistance, and economic instability forced the National Party to negotiate an end to apartheid. In 1994, Nelson Mandela became president, and Afrikaners lost political dominance. But they didn't vanish. They adapted again. Some embraced a new South Africa. Others clung to separatist dreams. Some moved abroad. Others founded private towns like Orania, where only Afrikaners live. Today, the community is fragmented. Some Afrikaners are still wealthy landowners. Others live in poverty, an unfamiliar reality. Some are trying to build bridges. Others are building walls. And all of this, their origins, migrations, wars, trauma, and reinvention, shapes how they view the land. To the Afrikaner, land is not just property. It's heritage. It's struggle. It's home. But that land is now at the center of a national debate. And this time, they don't hold the political power, which brings us to the present. If this story moved you, challenged you, or made you think, don't let it end here. Subscribe to the channel, share this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter in South Africa's unfolding story.